When selecting hummingbird flowers for your hummingbird garden, it's important not to concentrate too much on color. We humans like red a lot too, and so we've bred the color red into many of our garden flowers like this verbena. A verbena like this is a beautiful plant to have in your garden, and it's good for attracting butterflies, but it really doesn't have quite the right structure for a hummingbird flower, and it doesn't provide the right kind of nectar. Whereas this beautiful Texas sage, or scarlet sage, has the right shape of flower. It has the right kind of nectar, a very rich nectar that has a lot of sucrose, aka white table sugar, in it. And this is a perfect plant for most gardens because it's an annual. In cooler climates, it can be planted every year from seed. In warmer climates, it may survive through the winter and bloom again and again, over and over again. But there are salvias available for every garden. Salvias are some of the best hummingbird plants that there are, and some of the fine hummingbird plants in the salvia family include this Texas sage, and salvias of many other colors. Pinks, blues, and oranges are particularly favored by hummingbirds. A lot of people have the idea that hummingbirds are only attracted to red flowers, but that's absolutely not true. Hummingbirds are very flexible, and many of their plants, particularly those that come from the tropics, are in a variety of other colors other than red. For example, this beautiful Mexican bush sage has fuzzy purple flowers that are quite attractive to hummingbirds, a rich nectar source in the fall in particular. Hummingbird feeders are a great way to attract hummingbirds, especially if you don't have a green thumb or you don't have space to garden. But even in a garden setting, they make a nice addition. The sugar water that we put in hummingbird feeders is a good substitute for the natural flower nectar of the flowers that they pollinate. A solution of 3 to 5 parts water to 1 part sugar very closely approximates the amount of sugar that's found in the nectar of the flowers that they normally feed from. To select a hummingbird feeder, there are a few things that you want to remember. Almost any hummingbird feeder that has some nice bright color on it is going to be attractive to the birds. So the most important features are going to be for your benefit. Among the most important features that you need to look for when selecting a hummingbird feeder is ease of cleaning. You want the feeder to be especially easy to clean because you're going to have to clean it every 3 to 5 days under most conditions, sometimes every other day if the weather's particularly hot or windy or rainy. A feeder where you can get into every nook and cranny, where nothing can hide that might cause the birds any level of harm, is very, very important. You need to be able to clean out any mold or bacteria, algae, any of the other things that can grow in sugar water to make sure that the birds have a healthy drink when they come to drink at your feeder. Other important considerations vary from place to place. For example, if you are hanging your feeder from a tree limb, ants in particular can be a problem there. Ants are very resourceful creatures, and ants find hummingbird feeders really readily. Some feeders, like this one, have a built-in ant moat that you can fill with a little bit of water, just plain water, every time you refill your feeder. The ants won't be able to cross that barrier and get into the feeder and contaminate the solution. Another feature that may be important if bigger birds or wind is a problem is a socket in the bottom of the feeder that you can insert a post into so that you can mount the feeder very sturdily on a nice, well-set post. It won't rock in the wind or tip when larger birds land on it to try to feed. There's more art than science to placing a hummingbird feeder. You want to place the feeder where you can enjoy it, outside a window, at the edge of a patio. The one most important thing from the bird's standpoint is to ensure that the feeder is placed out of reach of predators such as cats. If there are free-roaming cats in your neighborhood, be sure to place the feeder high off the ground, as high as 6 feet will generally keep it out of the reach of leaping cats. Next to a garden full of flowers is an excellent place, as long as it's someplace where you can enjoy it. It's more for your benefit than it is for the birds' benefit, although the birds certainly do benefit from the additional sugar resource. You may see a hummingbird at your feeder with yellow or white markings on its bill or throat, like this male Anna's hummingbird. His bill is covered in yellow pollen from a flower, a sign that the bird isn't dependent on feeders and is still doing his job in nature. One of the most magical things about hummingbirds is their colors, these constantly shifting metallic hues. These are created not by rare pigments in the feathers, but by fine microscopic structures in the feathers. When light enters these structures, they act like tiny prisms and break the light into its component colors, sending very pure wavelengths of light back to the viewer's eye. In male hummingbirds, the shimmering metallic throat colors so closely resembled the metal plate that protected the throat of a knight in armor that it was given the old French name gorget, or as we now pronounce it, gorget. These shimmering metallic colors are used to signal the females and also to signal rival males of a male's intentions. But hummingbirds are far from the only colorful birds in the world, or even the most colorful birds in the world. What truly sets them apart from all other birds is their unique mode of flight. The bumblebee-like flight of hummingbirds is powered by wings and flight muscles that are unique among birds. Rotation at the shoulder joint allows the wing to move in a figure eight, providing lift on both the forward and backward strokes, and allowing them to fly backwards, sideways, straight up and down, and to hover in still air. Rapid-firing nerves trigger enormous breast muscles that move the wings at around 50 beats per second in the ruby-throated hummingbird. These muscles are supplied with oxygen by a powerful heart that can beat at over 1,200 beats per minute. Even such seemingly boundless energy has its limits, and hummingbirds are masters of energy conservation. Under the stress of cold, famine, or migration, a sleeping hummingbird will sink into the hibernation-like state called torpor. Its body temperature plunges to near that of the surrounding air, and its heart rate and breathing slow to a fraction of normal.